Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So look, it's no secret that the Jets did a really good job when it came to the NFL draft, right? Joe Douglas and company, man, they addressed both offense and defense, walking away with 3 first-round picks. Are you kidding me? Just awesome stuff. Totally excited about the future moving forward, but we do still have some positions of need. So we turn to guys that are still out there, right? Guys that are still available that aren't commanding, you know, 15, 16, 17 million dollars a season. No, not in the least, right? Just a fraction of that. But in this one, I wanted to talk about 3 specific players that I do feel like make sense for the Jets as post-draft additions. The first being Jaques Graham, okay, a veteran option at the safety position, great size, 6'1", 215. Again, a veteran. He's 30, I believe he will be 31 years old by the time the season rolls around. You know, I'm looking at the safety position right now. Awesome, Jordan Whitehead, that was great, but we didn't really go after the Jaquan Brisker, the Daxton Hill, the Nick Cross, okay? There were a lot of safeties in this draft that I felt good about moving forward. I would have been totally happy with, but the Jets opted to go elsewhere. I do feel like Tart specifically makes a lot of sense because of not only just his age, he would come in and be one of the veteran leaders on the defense, but he knows Saleh. He knows the same exact system. He would come in and know exactly what to do. There's not some huge learning curve or, you know, trying to pick up the system. No, not at all. Not at all, okay? Again, currently still out there in the open market. He would come in and be super cheap. There's no way Joe Douglas would have to fork over millions and millions of dollars to bring in Jaques Graham, okay? So I do like Tart on a cheaper 1-year contract. I would say anywhere from a one-year deal worth maybe up to $3 million max. I think that could actually get the job done, okay? And I do feel like Tart is an upgrade over guys like Ashton Davis, over LaMarcus Joyner, who's another guy I like. But I do feel like with the added experience in this system, Tart does have the edge over a lot of players on this roster, and I do like the combination of Whitehead dropping down a little bit and then Tart roaming the deep parts of the field. So it would be exciting. The only red flag that I do have to bring up here, of course, are the injuries, and that's part of the reason why he's not re-signed with the 49ers. Just can't really stay healthy for a full season, and that's understandable. I completely understand it. That's, again, another reason why he's not only just out there, but also on the cheaper end. But I think at the end of the day, it's all about building the culture, right? And obviously you're not going to be able to do that in one season. So Tart comes in, just checks so many different boxes with the, you know, him being a familiar face with the coaching staff, him knowing the system, him fitting exactly what the Jets want to do defensively. And he's also coming in at a big position of need. And then finally, cheap option as well. So I think Jaques Graham makes a lot of sense. Okay, so player number 2 here is actually a guy that the Jets worked out right before the draft. It's linebacker Quan Alexander. Quan is a guy coming off a great season, right? 50 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, 12 games, 8 starts. But here's the crazy thing. He signed a contract with the Saints, 1 year, $1.1 million. And that's the production that New Orleans got on defense? Are you kidding? That is crazy. That's an absolute steal. What a bargain. $1.1 million for those numbers. Sign me up for that. Okay, now look, of course, it's a different team. It's a different situation. I know Quan Alexander hasn't been the most healthy guy in the world, right, when it comes to lower body injuries and everything like that. I get it, but it's a low risk, high reward style of move. I feel comfortable with Quan dropping in as the 4-3 weak side linebacker. You know, obviously CJ Mosley is going to be holding down the middle, and then as of right now, strong side linebacker Quincy Williams. And look, linebacker, yes, we do have some young guys at that position with Najrul Dean and Sherwood and whatnot, but we didn't really address that position in free agency. We didn't really address that position in the draft. You can go get a guy, again, a veteran player here that has seen a lot of different offenses, a guy who's played in this style of system. Remember, he did sign the big contract with San Francisco all those years ago with Robert Saleh at the helm. Okay, he was calling the shots as defensive coordinator. So there's obviously a draw with Quan, or at one point in time there was a draw with Quan Alexander's play, his fit in this style of defense. So, you know, at this point it's a low risk, high reward. If the Jets bring him in on a similar deal, let's round up and just say Quan Alexander $1.5 million deal. maybe doesn't play that much, maybe doesn't play that well at all. Is anybody really going to be losing sleep over that? It's a minimal contract. I think because linebacker, well, number one, because the Jets were hit so hard with the injury bug last year, we got to make sure we add insurance policies to the team. And then, of course, number two, he would be coming in at a big position of need. Okay, so player number 3 here, I got to be honest, I definitely feel more comfortable with the first two, or I guess I feel like the first two are a little bit more realistic at this point. But player number 3 here is Larry Ogunjobi, former Brown and Bengal. He's coming off a fantastic season as a 16-game starter, 7 sacks, 49 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, 16 quarterback hits from the defensive tackle position. You know, as an interior rusher, that is crazy, right? And you could be thinking, 20 years old, coming off a good season, obviously a full-time starter. What's the holdup here? Why did he not get brought back? You know, why isn't he on a team? He didn't pass a physical. Right, that's the big thing. That's the big holdup here. I don't know what exactly went wrong, but I do know he did have a deal in place with the Chicago Bears. I know there's still some level of interest, but you know, again, if he could get past the physical, we'll see what happens. But man, could you think about, you know, Quinnen Williams and Ogunjobi on the interior of the 4-3 defense with Carl Lawson and Jermaine Johnson coming off the edge? That's crazy, man. That's like legit that would be one of the better defensive lines in all of football, assuming Carl Lawson comes back healthy and Jermaine Johnson does in fact look like a first-round pick. But man, Larry can play. Larry can really play. Now, as far as a contract projection is concerned, that would just be totally up in the air, just again because we don't really know what's happening with the physical here. But there, you know, there's some other players out there too, like Landon Collins, maybe Anthony Barr. Little sketchy just because of the whole, you know, fallout that happened a couple years ago. Obviously, he had cold feet. Well, he agreed to sign with the Jets, had cold feet, backed out. So I don't really know if a lot of people would be on board, but I do view Barr as a guy who's played a lot of snaps in a 4-3 defense. So that could be interesting. Maybe a Nick Martin from the Vegas Raiders, former Texan as well. He could come in as a backup center, see how he can do if we want some more depth there. But you know, with the addition of Hairbig, I don't know how Joe Douglas views the interior of the offensive line currently, specifically center. So we'll see. But definitely Quan Alexander and Jaques Graham. If the news broke tomorrow, if the news broke, you know, in 5 minutes, I wouldn't be shocked at all. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Who are some free agents out there that, you know, you might want the Jets to target? There's so many guys, there's so many players that I feel like would come in and benefit this football team, but for me, those are the top 3. And also trying to keep it realistic. I'm not gonna just, you know, rattle off guys like Odell Beckham and stuff like that as well. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and as always, go Jets.